In this episode, we're journeying to London town. Tucked away in Soho, near some of the city's best-known tourist attractions and finest restaurants, is the Old Coffee House. Since Georgian times, it's been the place to rub shoulders with celebrities or just talk about the latest news. So let's grab a pint, and Lizzie, the spectacular yet no-nonsense landlady, will take us through the pub's past and future. Welcome to No Pants During the Pandemic.
Hi, I'm Kevin Brooks, and this is No Pants During the Pandemic. Today I'm speaking with Lizzie Brodie from the Old Coffee House, a person and place I visit every time I'm in London. We're having slight technical problems today, but we'll do our best to get through them. And so, let's just get going. Hey Lizzie, how you doing?
I'm brilliant, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time to be with me today.
I've been looking forward to it for weeks.
That's kind of sad, but thank you.
Well, we had to keep changing it because the government kept changing their minds about opening up, so...
I totally understand. I guess, why don't you tell me, who you are and, what you do?
I'm Lizzie Brodie. I run the Old Coffee House, a traditional English pub in the middle of Soho.
You're in the center of London. It's Soho. You're like a 5-minute walk from Piccadilly Circus. What's it like being in there?
Busy. We're also the gay capital of London, so Soho Pride is the best pride in the world. Yeah, we're right in the centre. You see everything from Super Mario Brothers running past to Hamleys, elves running past to everything. There's nothing I haven't seen here.
Contrary to what the name suggests, you are a pub, but, coffee houses, not like Starbucks, but coffee houses were a big thing in England and in London. Yeah, what was a coffee house?
Coffee houses, I think it's when coffee first came over, and it quickly turned it into a place where poets and musicians and everyone met up to talk it over. And then absinthe was discovered, and then it was basically an absinthe place. Then I'm not sure what happened in the 1800s, but it became a pub, I think, in the 1900s.
And what year was the building constructed?
I think it was 1712. I've got it all written down upstairs, actually. Not written down, I've got this calligraphy thing. It tells you the story of the Old Coffee House. Because Beak Street was 12 houses, and this was 2 huge houses knocked into one.
And so your family came in the 1970s?
1970s, my grandfather bought the pub, the lease, and then we bought it off him in 1981. I was 4 then, so don't know the minutiae of it.
So is it safe to say you kind of grew up in it?
My dad used to bring me on Saturday mornings, because we had to do in the old days, the fruit machines. So I had to count the money in the fruit machines, and in the cigarette machines, and in the telephone box. So I had to bag up the change and everything.
When did you take over as landlady?
I was area manager before for the 3 pubs at the time, and I did relief in this pub and our other pub in Covent Garden, which means that when the managers that worked for me here went on holiday, I moved in and took over. I did 7 years of that, then 8 years ago, I moved in permanently and took over as my own pub.
How would you describe the Old Coffee House? To somebody who had never been to it.
A proper traditional pub. We've got copper hanging from the ceilings, a lot of fireplace, copper pots and things. We've got quite a few bedpans, which is always attractive. The walls are covered in memorabilia and oil paintings. And we've got a bright red carpet with different patterns. If you Googled a traditional English pub, the Old Coffee House probably would be in the top 5, if not the top 1. We do realise we have dimpled mugs. You come in on your own, you come in with a family, you come in a big group, and everyone is made to feel comfortable.
It's kind of a tourist area, I guess, and business area, but so what's the clientele like? What are your customers like?
We have a lot of media. We have a lot of tourists pre-COVID. Actually, a lot of tourists now. We get a lot of people come here from outside London. They travel down for the weekend. We had 5 Welsh sisters in yesterday who were nutty. It was entertaining. They come in and it's kind of a home from home. You get a lot of people come in for 1 pint, and about 11:30 at night I'm asking them to leave. Go, you've got to go home now. You've been here since 1 o'clock. We do have a lot of people come in for 1 pint or 2 pints and go. But majority of people come in, settle, and this is their place for the night.
Yeah, I figured the one-pinters were mainly the folks who were stopping to unwind after a day at work.
They're the skivers, yeah. We have a skivers table. That's not an American word, so you won't understand. A skiver is someone that skips work when you bunk off at school kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be in the office, but come into the coffee house for a coffee to have 2 pints on our table that no one can see from outside.
Excellent. I like that.
When their boss comes looking for them, they just duck down a little bit.
Of course, the boss probably knows where the table is too, because they probably sat at it a few times.
Yeah, we had the back window was smashed by idiots, and it was opaque, but we put in clear glass, and I literally had people screaming, going, "You cannot put clear glass, it's a Skype table, everyone can see us," and walk past. I literally about 30 people come up to me going, "Where am I going to sit if you've got that clear?" So I had to pay for reinforced opaque glass to be put back in.
Now, I read somewhere that the pub has a connection with the old mod scene. Is that true?
Yeah, there's 2 front tables with bench seating, and that's where the mods were actually invented, and they said, let's make something of this. And it's been in a lot of historical books around Soho, but so Carnaby Street added to it as well, obviously.
You got a full kitchen. You do pretty traditional English pub fare, including like a Sunday roast, right?
We average as chicken, beef or lamb. I make it the way I make it, but I've got a chef now, so he does his own Yorkshire puddings. And we've got steak and our pie. We've got vegetarian lasagna. We have put a few vegan things on, and we do specials like jerk chicken and sometimes curried goat. So we do Caribbean bits and pieces, as well as English ham, egg and chips. One of our biggest sellers. That's gammon ham from the butchers, obviously fried eggs, and hand-cut chips.
And I can definitely attest that the Sunday roast is tasty, and you cooked it for me the day I was there.
I'm not cooking anymore. I've given up. I did it for a year. It was too much.
I don't blame you. I'm just cooking in the house, and it's too much.
Well, I'm not. I've got a chef now. I'm a cook. I can cook very well, but I lost interest running a pub on my own.
Yeah.
Running a pub on your own is quite hard without having to do kitchen between 4 and 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then people going, "Oh, I don't want to work tonight. I've got a party." It's like, yeah, well, I need to sleep.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I guess on the bright side, the pubs close early.
Yeah, I don't want a nightclub. Then they don't open until 8 o'clock.
The day in, day out, what's it like to run a pub in London?
My week starts on Sunday. Sunday is letting everyone, so I can get the bar set up and then the chef in to finish off the roast dinners. Then it's normally quiet. We get a few people in for the Grand Prix, and you get people that watch football on their own phones now anyway. Then Monday it gets busier, and it kind of goes up through the week. And either Thursday's busy or Friday's busy. And then it's just ordering, doing the rota, getting cleaning materials, beer in, working out what beer we need, gas delivery, getting the minerals ordered. That's like tonic waters and spirits, obviously. And see what spirits we can get that are different gins.
And, the pub is also your home.
Yep, I live upstairs. I'm currently in my living room.
That's pretty, or at least it used to be pretty normal in England. In the United States, it's virtually unheard of.
It does make it 24/7.
Yeah.
I prefer it. I wouldn't sleep. We call it a lock-up. If you run a pub that you basically close the doors and go back to your flat. So if I had a lock-up, I wouldn't be able to sleep. At least here I can hear the alarm. I can hear if someone's smashing the windows. When the back window got smashed, they basically smashed it, ran off, and came back half an hour later because the alarm didn't go off. And the alarm, they climbed in through the window to rob us. But the alarm went off when they climbed in. So that's what they do around here. They smash, if the alarm doesn't go off, they hang around the corner for half an hour. And then they come back and rob it, thinking you've not put the alarm on or there's no alarm in there, so we can rob it.
I guess they didn't get anything other than breaking the window?
No, I've got a baseball bat on each floor.
Excellent.
And do not wake me up in the middle of the night because I'm not pretty. Or very nice.
So, earlier you mentioned that the family owned 3 pubs. So what were the other 2?
The William we had in East London, And we've still got the Costa Keys in Covent Garden. That's where I used to live when I was growing up.
And you guys also had a brewery.
Yeah, we had a brewery in our pub in East London, but we sold that about 3 or 4 years ago.
How did the brewery come about? How did Brodie's beer come about?
My brother James basically was a home brewing, and his wife, basically pregnant with 2 toddlers, basically turned around and said, if you do not get this crap out of my bath, I'm going to divorce you and take the kids, okay? I need not to get into a bath I've got to clean 10 times, because it's syrup juice, basically. And he's like, fine. And we realised we had space behind one of our pubs that used to be a betting shop. So he bought all of the stuff, and he was like, well, let's set up a brewery. So we did, and our first beer was brewed on 08.
When Brodie's beer came on the scene in London, there wasn't really anything like it out there. What was the reaction to the beers?
We were the first small brewery to really open up. Then obviously everyone else got in, followed, like Redemption and Windsor and Eton and Sam Brooks. I think a year after us, there ended up being about 10, 15 in London that opened up.
And you guys became pretty influential, melding British brewing with American craft beer.
We were very successful, but we had such small plant ability to brew large amounts of beer. Because our beers were so insane. We had a Jamaican stout, oyster stout. We had Elizabethan, obviously, which was 22%. We had our Pink Pride, which we did for Soho Pride, which is delicious. It's a bit of raspberry-based beer. So my brother was named the Willy Wonka of brewing.
So the 3 pubs basically served as the tap room for Brodie's?
Yeah. The Willy in the Fourth was the front line, and then the 2 West End pubs we supplied as well. And that, at a certain point, because we were selling so much, to make it a destination to come here, Brodie's, that we were running out of stock anyway, so just about could supply the 3 pubs. Because we had a 5-barrel plant.
Yeah, I remember it was pretty damn small, but I didn't remember how big it was. You know, one of the things I loved about the old coffee house, and I can't really speak to the other 2. Yes, it was like a craft beer destination because you had the Brodie's beer connection, but, you know, if you weren't a craft drinker, you could still walk in and get, you know, a lager, a cider, you know, something a little more mainstream.
The old coffee house is a place that's safe for everyone. I don't mean safe as in, like, you're not being attacked. I mean as in, you can go in with your girlfriend who wants a bottle of Prosecco. Your mate can have a real ale, so he's happy. You can have a lager if you want. That's what you want. Your girlfriend can have a glass of Chardonnay. You can have a pint of stout. You can have a pint of Guinness. You can have whatever you want. No matter what kind of eclectic group you're going out with, everyone's satisfied.
You sold the brewery a few years ago. Now, how has the old coffee house changed since then? Because you're really no longer, you're no longer the Brodie's tap.
We still get Brodie's, so it's still supplied to us. So it's still the same recipes that we sell here, and we sell a couple of other beers and stuff like that.
Let's turn here and we'll talk about current events. You know, the pandemic hits, England shuts down, you had to close up the old coffee shop. You know, what do you do next?
Basically, what Boris did is the week before we got locked down, he said, do not go to pubs, nightclubs or restaurants unless you have to. So from that Friday, we were dead. And I was ranting and raving, going, like, unless he orders us to close down, I'm not closing down. And the next Friday, he basically said, I'm ordering all pubs, nightclubs and restaurants shut down. So he did. And I was just like, well, I could have done a week's trading in between this. And so that night we shut at 9 o'clock because there were no customers. And there's a lot of people, they weren't looting, not the same, but they were like, there's lots of gangs of people running around the streets trying to grab what they could. So we shut at 9 and then that was it. And then every 2 weeks he said, might open in 2 weeks. Then 2 weeks, might open in 2 weeks, might open 2 weeks. And then April, May, June, July. So 4 months later, with I think a week's notice, he told us we could open.
When was it you were able to reopen?
July the 4th.
And then how long were you able to stay open before we got shut down again?
Yeah, November. So July, August, September, October. Yeah, so I was open for 4.5 months. Then November he shut us down again. And for about it must have been October, that was about 2 months. Then he opened us again up the first 2 weeks of December. But everyone had to eat a full meal to have a drink And then obviously he stupidly said a Scotch egg counts as a full meal. So I had lots of, can I have 5 pints and a Scotch egg, please? And lots of arguments of, yeah, it's horrible. Those 13 days were open were horrible.
At least you had the opportunity, I guess, to do that because you do have the full kitchen.
Yeah, the food waste was insane because I was like, you've got to order food. And so go like buy chicken wings and then they was wasted. We're taking 3 bins out of food tonight.
Oh, jeez.
So they came in and people didn't have plates in front of them. They'd shut us down.
Yep.
And no one wanted the food because they'd all booked restaurants because we've all been shut down for 4 months.
And you've got all those, a bunch of those posh or celebrity restaurants in your neighborhood too. So.
Well, this is the food capital of London as well. So you can eat anything you want. Any food in the world you want to eat, you can eat here. No one can be asked to. They just all came in. It was mental busy.
What was London like, at least during the initial shutdown?
Round here was just dead. Like the whole of Beak Street was empty. Just not one person. And I walked to, doesn't mean much to you, I walked to Tesco's to get some shopping or some beers or something. And I didn't see another person. Have you seen the film 28 Days Later?
Yep.
That was what it was like.
So what did you do during the shutdown?
First lockdown, we totally, we put carpet in, we painted, took out old paintings and pictures, memorabilia, changed it around, moved everything about, redid the ladies' toilets, gents' toilets. So I was basically working the whole time. Not working, I was letting people in and watching men work.
And how about your staff? What were they doing?
We put on furlough, which you never had over there, did you?
Not really, no. Basically, people just went on to unemployment.
We got 80% of our normal pay paid by the government. So everyone was on losing 20% of their pay without doing nothing. You
were able to reopen a few weeks ago. How's it been going since then?
The weather's been crappy, to be honest. It was been raining the last, I think, 3 or 4 days have been sunny. So we kind of get hit when it gets a bit cooler and people are bored of shopping. The first week we lost a day because we opened on a Monday, not on a Sunday. We lost the Sunday's take, which had been good, but it's kind of up and down. Staffing it's insane. I have no idea what I'm doing. Last week was not a horrendous week, but no one's doing what they're supposed to be doing. So it's very hard work, and we're supposed to be doing table service. I know in America it's normal for you, but in England you get your drink and you go and find a table.
Yeah.
And then we don't have any more communication until you come to get a drink. So trying to break that habit, and a lot of people doing that to us, which in England it does not work. We kind of say, well, those people will be served last.
Well, it's pretty impolite and asshole-ish here too, but people do it all the time.
I can't stand it. Basically, I just say, well, every time you click your fingers, you'll wait another 5 minutes. Click their fingers, and they forget, click their fingers again. I'm going, oh, that's 10 minutes now. And they go, well, I'm not going to come back here. I go, don't then. I don't care. I don't want to have my staff treated that way.
How have customers been overall since they've been allowed back?
Politeness ends at 3 pints. They finish their 3rd pint. I understand, that's fine. I'll move. I'll do this. That's fine. Then after 3rd pint, it's like, what are you doing? Telling me what to do. It's, oh, shut up. Majority of people are okay.
Good.
People understand, and I'm like, just please, come on, just don't be an arse.
Yeah.
99% go, okay, and then 99% of the arse, and then you just go, goodbye. Go and get served somewhere else. And everyone else is busier, everyone else has got a book. Oh, because we need to book now over here. But I don't take bookings, but the place, you've got 2 hours to drink. So you've got to book your slot in a pub, and you've got to be there on time, and then sit there with table service, and sometimes people are waiting half an hour for drinks because we're not used to doing table service.
Mm-hmm.
And then they finally get their drinks, and then you've got an hour and a half left. Get out, come on.
People definitely don't seem like they've quite, because they're doing a lot of the those limits hour-wise here too. People still don't quite seem to realize it's like, yeah, you got to go. You can't just stay right now.
Well, I had a business meeting the other day in the pub, and we were discussing this, and the other person was drinking, and I was just like, okay, it's been 2 hours. They're like, no, it hasn't. I said, yeah, you've got to go now. Because he was saying to me, you should do bookings. And he goes, I've already had 2 pints, so I don't care. You've booked in for 2 hours. Time for you to leave. And then I won that argument. Because that's why I don't do bookings.
Well, that and because of your location, I mean, I'm assuming, foot traffic is what drives a lot of your business.
Yeah. We're a destination pub as well because of
Yeah.
memorabilia and things like that, and the craft ale, and the fact that we make everyone feel special. We believe in good customer service unless you're rude to us, and then you can go wherever else you want to go. If you're polite, we're kind and we'll look after you. If you're rude, then we'll just go.
I can get behind that.
I'm so sweet behind the bar.
You are.
Yeah.
You're a fiery, 99 pounds of bartender.
Yeah. I can't reach any of the glasses, but I can tell you to get out of my pub. Have you ever heard of EastEnders? Barbara Windsor in it.
Yeah.
And she ran the Queen Vic in EastEnders.
Yeah.
And she was smaller than me, and she'd always shout, "Get out of my pub!" And I've done it about 4 times, and it's so blissful to say.
Cool.
It's a very English thing.
I was just imagining you doing it. Hard to believe you've only done it 4 times, because I can picture it being pretty rowdy in there on a Saturday night.
Yeah. Last Saturday was painful. Arguing with people dancing, saying you can't dance. Can I dance in my chair? So we can't stand up and dance. Well, if I sit down, can I wiggle my bottom? Yes, you can wiggle your bottom, but you can't get up and wiggle your bottom. And they were like, but I want to wiggle my bottom standing up. I said, well, no, you wiggle your bottom sitting down, and you're allowed to. If you stand up, you can wiggle your bottom going to the toilet with a mask on. Otherwise, you can wiggle your bottom sitting down.
Or you can wiggle your bottom on the sidewalk.
Yeah. You can wiggle your bottom outside while you're having a cigarette, but you can't wiggle your bottom standing up inside.
So, I guess moving forward, what are things going to be like for the old coffee house? What are you going to do?
We're thinking of trying to start some kind of supper club upstairs, like a tasting menu, and then divide the profits between the pub and my chef. I think when it's not broken, don't fix it, just leave it. We're busy, we've got a really good reputation for all of our beers, lagers, spirits. I think it's a whole new world now, isn't it, really? People not working from home because of office-based. Like, a load of offices around here come in, and they're not back yet. They're not back till mid-June. So that's when I can really see where I'm going.
Well, that's about it. I hope it wasn't too painful for you.
No, it's lovely. I miss you.
I
It's
miss
lovely
you
talking
too.
to someone that's not English, A, not English, and B, doesn't drive me mad.
If you got to talk to me more, I'd probably drive you crazy.
Oh, okay.
Lizzie, thanks for all the time. Good luck getting through all this, and I can't wait to come and, sit down at the bar and hear you yell, "Get out of my pub" to people.
Babs Windsor, she died a couple of years ago, so I do it in her memory.
Okay, thanks again. Bye-bye. If you'd like to learn more about the Old Coffee House, you can check out their social media pages. The links are in the video's description. And as always, if you'd like this or any of the other episodes of No Pants During the Pandemic, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.